My name is Carlton Mackey. I am an artist, and I believe in the power of art to change the world. It is true that artists reflect the eras and the times that they live in. It is also true that artists have been at the vanguard of affecting change during those times, even some of the most challenging times and eras that we've seen. And this is no different for this city, Atlanta, Georgia, that has been the epicenter for radical change that has spread throughout the country. Changes for civil and human rights, as well as advances in science, technology. So it makes sense that right here in Atlanta, we reflect on, we examine, we showcase artists who right here, right now, are bringing attention to some of the most pressing challenges that we face. This is Amplify, raising our voices, changing our world.
I do believe that I am an artist that is profoundly impacted by and trying to impact a lot of social issues. I believe firmly that everything you do is political in some type of way. And so with me, the way that I like to try to affect change, I try to affect change individually, because I feel like there's a lot of those issues stem from people not either seeing themselves individually or seeing somebody else as an individual that is just as worthy of respect, empathy, and joy like you are. And I try to create things that try to connect people, because I want to show people as much as possible that we're not that much different. So the way that I try to do that is by helping people to promote who they are individually so we can see each other collectively.
I feel like as artists, we're inherently responsible, and if you choose to accept that, it is ignorant to think that what you do isn't political, because our bodies are political. Everything we do is just inherently going to be political. So I think we have a responsibility, and you can either own up to it or just figure out how you want to navigate it.
So I think the value in sharing my personal stories or personal memories is that it offers a point of connection for other people, whereas someone might not have had the same similar experience. It could still evoke nostalgia or evoke some sort of mutual experience. And I think the more times we have more mutually shared experiences with different artists, different people who are different than us, the more we can find common ground and similarities. And I think art's a really powerful way to do that.
When I'm making a work, I'm always careful to keep in mind that the only thing I can really do is show you what I'm thinking. So I'm open to people coming from different perspectives, different opinions about the work, because in my mind, my work is not so much about telling the world about what I want them to see. It's about getting people to think about a problem and think about how they might grapple with that or how they relate to that in their lives. So, you know, if somebody comes to my work with a different opinion, that's okay, because the work is a starting point for a conversation.
I just realized that so much of the work begins inside of ourselves, and if I could not love myself and believe that I was worthy enough to be an artist, worthy enough to study photography and spend all this film doing it, like worthy enough to show who I really was, that to me came with this freedom. And I would notice, like, all these activists, they care so much about their communities and uplifting them, and they believe in the people in their communities, and it takes a certain strength to do that. It takes the courage to do that.
I'm Ash Nash, founder and CEO of Powerhouse Creative, based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I am an arts and underserved community advocate, change agent for visual arts and economic playing field here in Atlanta. The role of artists has always been to reflect the time since the beginning of time. It's artists, it's photographers that have captured movements, the ancestors building pyramids, things like that. Since the beginning of time, it's always been the artist's role to document. And even to this day, artists don't get enough credit or respect for the impact that they have.
My work is about sort of pointing out things that maybe you should pay attention to in social or political circles, highlighting social issues or illuminating heroes that I feel like are important in the city and country. I mean, personally, I believe that artists should have a little bit of responsibility to either explain or enlighten or to translate certain situations for people. I feel like if it's anybody's job, it's the artist. Why? Because that's what it's kind of like what we're supposed to do. Like, I feel like I'm a filter for certain things visually. So if I see things a certain way, my job is to interpret it and then reintroduce it to you in a way so you can understand what's happening. Without artists exposing or confronting the truth, then I feel like it's almost like an immune system that's compromised.
I think what I hope to spark with my work more than anything is just conversation amongst people, right? Because everybody has their own unique place in the world and their own unique history in the world, and we can all learn something from one another. So presenting an artwork that has a nugget of interest for people that they can then discuss among themselves what they think or feel or experience related to that artwork. That's my goal.
I've come to understand that with my practice, right? The way I create art, the way I put things out into the world, it's not a response, but it is a response, right? To the status quo, to the narrative that they would tell us that we are as Black people, brown people, people of color. I want to control our narrative. It's very important to me, right? I think often about the Zora Neale Hurston quote, and I always mess it up, but where she says, basically, if you don't speak up, they're gonna say you liked it, right? And it means something to me that our narrative is controlled by us. I don't want anyone to tell our story, because who can tell our story better than we? I create simply so that we see who we are, right? Because our Blackness is gonna be here regardless.
I create portraits, mostly a little fashion, a little editorial, mostly centering people of color, queer people, as well as themes around presentation, identity, performance. I love what I do because I want to pass that feeling along that I get when I see inspired work. I think everybody should experience that, even if you aren't into art. There should be something that isn't, I don't know, not even 100% visual, that hits you in a way, just like music hits people in a certain way, even poetry, writing, that speaks to a deeper you.
I'm an artist. I'm sorry that I want everyone to win. And I see children like you or like my friends, the Latino friends that I have also, that they didn't have this type of guidance from parents because of the same struggle that they were living. And I understand both sides, because I'm a kid, I'm a mom, and I'm an immigrant, and I'm part of this minority that is it's been a struggle just to overcome. I try to showcase my art as a symbol of hope for my people and as a symbol of who we are to this community, the whole United States and Atlanta and everything platform that I can use, I'm always gonna speak out and I'm always gonna be proud of it because I have a lot of people behind me that they don't tell me to do it, but I feel like I have to do it for them and myself as well because I'm part of that voice.
I make art because I feel like I don't have a choice. It's what I do, it's what I've been doing since I was a child, and it's just a need that I have to take care of. My goal as an artist is to make art relative and make it speak of our times. Even though I use old imagery a lot in my art and I'm very inspired by old photographs and the past, I try to bring that present because I think there's always something to learn from the past. A lot of my work is inspired from kind of what I'm going through in the moment and what the world's going through. And I try to represent that and say something and give it a voice and hopefully change perspectives. And because I'm not paid by a commercial, or I'm not commercially funded, I have the freedom to say things that are not easy to say and also have the freedom to express my truth and send a message.
The phrase that we use in our business is that we're the custodians of our culture, and we need to pay closer attention to that. And we need to pay closer attention on the valuation of our culture. We need to make sure that we're the ones who are validating our work in our culture. In spite of all the stuff that is happening to black folks in this hemisphere and in America, we still are doing what we do, and we're progressing, and we're still moving forward. And so we may stumble sometimes, but there's an African proverb that says to stumble is to move forward faster. And so that's how I would look at that.